Hello everyone and welcome to a video. Ta-da! So here's a video, I'm back speaking to you once more. So today it's going to be a request video. Not in that way, but someone has requested me to do it. They said, do a comparison video between Australia and Ireland. So here we are, Australia versus Ireland. Doo-doo-doo. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about Australia, and so here are some of the key points that I have set up. So first big thing is the climate, which doesn't surprise anyone, I don't think. So Australia, what words come to mind in Australia? Koalas and a lot of sun. What do you think when you come to Ireland? Rain and cold. Yeah, so there's a big difference. Australia, really hot. It has lovely climate down in Melbourne where I was, but that was great. Well, all over Australia is great anyway. But so the climate is really hot, barely get rain, rarely get rain, which might sound amazing. But when you don't have rain for about a week or more, then it starts to become a problem. Here, you won't get a shortage of rain. You won't. It won't. It just doesn't happen. Here, it's just occasionally you'll get sun, occasionally, but there's a big difference in climate. So, people would say, "Oh, I would love to be in the sun all the time." That sounds wonderful, but sometimes you'd be like, "Oh, I wish it wasn't 35 degrees and my head wasn't boiling." You get it? Okay, I don't know. So the next thing, which I noticed might not be a big deal to everyone, but the big deal that I found, I'm going to move forward, the big deal that I found was driving styles. Yes. People are going to be like, what the hell? Right, so if you haven't been to Australia, then there's a lot of difference between Irish driving and Australian driving, trust me. So when we were in Australia, we were driving around in the car. It was not bad, but the Australian drivers, I'm sorry, I just have to be plain. They're so rushy and panicky and just, oh my gosh, dude. If you stay a second after the light goes green on a traffic light, they'll start beeping the horn and they're like, what are you doing? They're one time we were driving a bit too slow and they were beeping and then they just flew past us and you're like, why in the big rush? Ireland, on the other hand, well, here they just dodder along. They just take their time, It's just you try they just sit there, just walking along, don't have a care in the world, just minding their own business. But that sounds fine, but then sometimes some of them get really stupid and they take up all the road. So there's a big difference between angry, screaming drivers and just, sitting along, having a nice time drive. But to be honest, I would prefer, to be honest, I don't know. Angry drivers versus very slow drivers, you see, that's what we're looking at here. But, that's just something I've picked up. Australian drivers are very angry, to me anyway. And then Irish drivers just taking their own time and mind their own business. So the next thing, again, might not care about you, but it's clubs and stuff like that. So here in Ireland, you don't get much. When I was over there, the big thing in Australia is the RSL. So if you don't know what it is, I recommend you look it up and you get all the information on it because I don't have to do a backstory episode or whatever. So RSL, for example, that's a huge thing in Australia. I went to one of them and it was great. But Ireland, on the other hand, you don't get little gather-ups and stuff. You don't get the community coming together and just... Well, in my town anyway, you have this hotel where most people, they gather up, but it's not like Australia. They don't have this group where they get together ever so often and they just have a good time. Ireland, it's the pub, basically. But that's what I thought a big difference, because in Australia everyone's yeah, motivated, let's do these things. Ireland is just, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and just be cool. Anyway, so that's another big thing I found. Might not be a big difference to you, but that's what I found when I was over in Australia anyway. And the next obvious thing is going to be wildlife. Yes. So let's see. Australia has a lot more interesting and just basically a lot more wildlife than Ireland has. That's not a big surprise to anyone, I don't think. Okay, let's go a quick run over of the Irish wildlife. Cows, crows, definitely a lot of crows. Sheep. Horses and pigs, that's about it. Basically. And a lot of other mean birds. Crows are the ones though. They just... You leave food out for the robins or the wrens or any other birds. Nope, they just dive bomb in and just take it all and just fly off again. Like nothing happened. And now to Australian wildlife. Whoa, there is a lot. As you saw in one of my Australia vlogs, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. What have you been doing? No, don't worry, I'm not forcing you to watch it. Anyway, so in one of my Australia vlogs, we went out and we went on an adventure with kangaroos. So we went out in the wild, which I found a lot better than going to a zoo to see them. So we saw them in the wild. Kangaroos, one of the big things. Koalas, another big thing. They chill a lot. They just relax on a tree, just like, why bother move when you can stay in the tree? Basically, that's their mindset. Every single bird under the sun, cockatoos, parrots, those are the main ones that come to my head. Platypus, those are one of my favourite animals, I love those. The list goes on and on and on forever and ever. It just goes on. There's so many different types of wildlife. Wombats. Oh, you see, it's just wildlife different. It's just, difference between them. So, and another thing, but I won't really get into it, is schools, because I haven't been to an Australian school because I have no idea. So I can't really go over school. Because here though, it's meh. it's meh. But I can really talk about schools if anyone wants to find out, because I haven't gone to an Australian school, and there we go. But anyway, that is going to be the big conclusion. So to you, over to the viewers. Yes. So in the comments below, these are my points going out. You can go onto the internet again and you can find more points. And then tell me in the comments below which you would prefer to live, Ireland or Australia. It's up to you. The choice is yours. So that is going to be the end of this video. Do hope you like this. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!